Alright, so welcome back. In this class we're going to be looking at the component mode for your NURBS cube and the rest, and maybe the differences that exist between the component mode for NURBS cubes and that is for polycube. Okay, so I think I'll delete everything here. Let's model a. Okay, so we have a NURBS, we have a polycube there, and we have a NURBS cube here. That look the same. Let's see. When I click this and I right click, I'm having this that I discussed in the last class. When I click this and go, right, you discover that these patches, okay, they are independent. I can just click this and it goes off. Okay, simply by clicking it, so it means they're separated. Okay, so there's something you should note. I will draw, let's say, an upsphere too. Keep this here and make it smaller. Okay, and draw a polysphere too. Let's draw this and keep this here like so. Alright, so this the same thing. We have vertex, edges, and the rest. Here we have isoperms, hull, contour vertex, surface patch, and the rest. So let's look at the component mode for polysphere. So we have our object mode as usual. We have a hull. Okay, a hull. So you could see how your hull looks like, right? So if I click this now, I can start deforming the object in that direction that I want to. If I click maybe this, you could deform the object in the direction. Okay, so we have a hull. We have our isoperms, which is those big. At times you might want to add them up, depending, add more and so on and so forth. So we have contour vertex. Okay, I'll show you something very important here. If you observe, when we use the contour vertex for the the polysphere, the vertex were on the surface, so I can just highlight and I'm having that here. But here, okay, here when I go to the contour vertex, it's just in the surface like so. So it's not directly. So it's not directly on the surface of your NURBS sphere. Okay, that's something worth noting. So we have others like others like your surface patch. So with this I can just select a patch that already exists, maybe more or like so. So these are different ways to model, and there are times that you want to model with polysphere, maybe NURBS sphere. Or there's times I may want to model with a spline dependent. So we have all of this like so. So that is that for your NURB objects. NURB object like your NURBS cube and your NURBS sphere. And we have looked at the differences between our poly object and our NURBS objects. So when we go to a contour vertex, you can see these are already independent. Unlike our polysphere that it's one. So this is something I think you might want to try out. Check the options available. Clear out the options and be sure some differences that occur between the poly sphere and your NURBS sphere. Maybe the polycube and your NURBS cube, or maybe your NURBS cylinder and your poly cylinder, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that is that. See you in the next class. Thank you.